Hi folks, I'm Nathan and Two Guys in a Ride, and welcome to our car tech how-to video on the 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQ350 SUV 4MATIC. Today I'll be covering the driver's information and infotainment screens. I'll do a general overview, show you how to access information, and do a deep dive. Let's get started.
Today, we're working with our friends at Sears Imported Autos, selling beautiful Mercedes-Benz in Minnetonka, Minnesota.
Okay, so the driver's information screen is a 12.3-inch OLED screen, and it's very nice. It's all digital. So basically, you have got several screens that you can choose from, and in one of those screens, you have some extra information that you can manipulate. But basically, at the very top of the screen, you're going to see a dummy light with the seat belts. Okay, so there are some dummy lights up there. At the next row down, you're going to see DSR 7. That's downhill speed control set to 7 miles per hour. You just turn it on and use cruise control to plus and minus to set that. Got your digital miles per hour. You got your lane keeping assist as well as your steering assist, road departure mitigation, it's called. And then at the very bottom of the screen, of course, you've got your headlight indicator on the far left. You've got your range gauge. It tells you how much you have a range of 198. You've got a max of 204 possible miles, and it's at 82% charge. You got a clock. Parking brake is on. You got outdoor ambient temperature, and then of course your drive mode that you're in, which is comfort, and then your gear selector. And then it tells us your blind spot system is active. Now, what I like is if you watch me put on the brakes, you notice it does everything plus the third brake. And if I took my turn signal on, not only does it show me the back of the car, but it shows me the mirror one, which I just think, because I like graphics, I think that's cool. All right. Now, to control this screen, you're going to use the home, the OK, and the back arrow on the left side of the steering wheel. So I'm going to press home, and you can see that assistance is one of multiple screens. So I'm going to just go right over here and start. This is understated. In case there's too much information on the screen and you just want something that's a little bit less cluttered looking, you can do this. You're going to get your miles per hour that shows up in the middle, and of course you still have your range at the bottom, and you got a clock on the right. Otherwise, the information pretty much stays the same top and bottom. But that is all you get in this screen. So I'm going to press home. I'm going to swipe over to sport. This is a fun one. You know, if you're driving, that I call it a UFO. It kind of slides back and forth, a flying saucer. On the screen as its G-forces increase or decrease. So that's kind of fun, kind of a fun screen to have. But that's all you get in that screen, so it's just a different screen. We were on classic view. So let's press OK here. All right, now in this screen, you do have several other screens in the middle. So using your up and down arrows, okay, we've got a map. So the map fits between the gauges, which is nice. Now, not to confuse anyone, but the gauge on the left, of course, is your speedometer. But the gauge on the right is not RPM, it's the percent of power being used. As you accelerate, that needle climbs up in the 10s and 20s and 30s, depending on how much of a percentage of the battery power you're using. Right below that, where it says percentage of charge, when you're deaccelerating or braking, you'll get a blue line that shows you how much you're charging. And then for recuperation, there are 3 modes. It says normal. You're going to use the 2 paddle shifters on the back of the wheel. Okay, so now I got strong recuperation, which if you're familiar with driving electric cars, this is like one pedal driving, only it doesn't bring you to a complete stop. If I hit the plus paddle, I get normal. And hit it again, I get no recuperation whatsoever. So that's how you adjust that, and that's what that gauge does. I'll put it back into park again. Now, that was the map. I'm going to swipe up. Okay, I got media. Okay, and then I can swipe left or right to change radio stations. Okay, I'm going to swipe up again. This is your attention assistant, so if it senses your hands aren't on the steering wheel enough, you're weaving a little bit too much around the lines, then it's going to suggest you take a break. Let's swipe up again. Consumption. Okay, from the start. Okay, and your range that you have left. How many? The minimum is 144 miles. Max is 203, so it kind of gives you a range. Eco display, that's going to just rate you on your driving as far as your braking and accelerating. This is your trip meter from the last time you reset it. And this is from when the car was started. Okay, if I click on OK, I can set that as a shortcut if I want. And that shortcut button is over on the right side of the steering wheel. It's a little star. So if you want that as a shortcut, when you press that button, you can do that. A shortcut on the steering wheel will take you instantly to that particular screen. All right, let's go up. This is from the start. Then up here, you've got your odometer. Okay, now I'm gonna press home. And I'm gonna go over another screen. Now, you remember we had the little map between the gauges in the classic view? Well, now you can get a full screen map, which is way cool. Okay, and your turn-by-turn directions will also show up in this screen or the other screen. Okay, and then if I go here again, I can go to assistance, which I was already on. Press the home button again, slide over. In this SUV, we actually have a screen called off-road, which is only on the SUV. Okay, so I've got steering angle. Okay, I've got a compass in the middle, and I have got percentage of power being used. Then, of course, my range, and then my recuperation level right here. Gives me latitude and longitude right here. So pretty nice. Anytime I press that OK button, I can set this as a shortcut. So I'm going to say yes. Go here. You can use the back arrow. So if I'm in, say for instance, navigation, and I want to jump to that off-road screen, I can just click here, and it should take me, and there we are. Okay. I'm going to go over one more, and this, of course, is your service screen. It tells you when your service is going to be, tells you your pressure and your temperature of your tires, any warnings that are coming up, and alerts should be right there. I do want to show you one thing in this particular navigation screen. If I press OK and release it, then I can go to destinations, and I go to previous or favorites. I can zoom in, and I can change the map settings. Okay, all from right here on my steering wheel. Okay, hit the back button, hit the back button again. So that's where you would plot a course there. But it's easiest just to do with voice command. If your particular vehicle had a HUD display, that should show up here, or you may have to do an upward swipe to get that, but otherwise it shows up as an icon. This particular vehicle does not, but that's one of the other options you could get. All right, that's it on the driver's information screen. Next, we're going to move over to the infotainment screen. All right, so the infotainment screen is a 12.8-inch screen, and it is OLED. And the one thing I like, I'm a little biased towards MBUX. I think it's one of the best systems on the market, if not the best. But I like the fact they use some colors. All right, so this may not sound like a lot because you're like, well, they got white and black and yellow and green. Okay, but that's a lot more than a lot of the new cars have. I mean, they're very, very mono-colored. And I like it that Mercedes makes difference even in shades of blue. So little details that if you've been in other cars, you may notice that. I certainly do. Okay, here's the way it works. This screen all the way to here, okay, this is where things are going to change. The screen from here on down stays static. Doesn't matter what menu you're in. This never disappears. All right, so you've got a back button, a home button, and then a tuning button for the radio, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but you can see that change right there. Over here, you got dual zone climate control, so I can adjust the fan speed by tapping. I can adjust the temperature by clicking. Now, over here, I have, you notice these two temperatures are different. There is no sync button down here, so you got to go into the climate menu, and then you can press sync, and then they will sync. That's the only place you can do that. It's also the only place you can turn on economy mode to save on battery usage. Okay, for the climate system, and there's two settings for that. Okay, now just up above that, you've got these little icons. Okay, and they don't always, like these four will disappear when you put it in drive, and you get two. Put them in park, and they come back. So it gives you a few more things, but this is what Mercedes calls the zero layer. So basically, they try to put pretty much everything right up on a screen so you can touch it. So basically, you're going to have media, radio right there, phone right there, and then a trunk release right there. If you want to see every app, you can click here, and now you can go through and swipe through these two screens. But it puts what it thinks are the most basic ones right there. Now, let's say you don't like this zero layer and you want the traditional look. Just click and hold on the home button, and you can switch over to the menu bar, which you would then be much more familiar with the shortcuts underneath them. Any one of these screens you notice will pop up a little bit, give you a little bit more to work with. Okay, here's my sources, and if I need more sources, I can look under here. This has, as far as radio goes, it has FM, it has HD FM, and it has Sirius XM. And you can get to favorites from here. You can put a USB in, but there is no AM radio. You can connect the phone right here. You can look at a video that introduces zero layer if you want, or you can activate your trunk right there. The rest of this is whatever app is currently showing. So currently we have navigation. So let's talk about that. The easiest way to plot a course, if you want to go to where to, and you want to type it in, go right ahead. You could search for charging stations, parking, eating, parks, coffee shops, that kind of stuff. Or you can just use the voice command system, which in Mercedes is super intelligent and super natural. So say the command like you're talking to somebody in the passenger seat, like, "Hey Mercedes,
how may I help you?
Take me to the closest McDonald's."
Here is what I found.
Number 6.
I will show you the way. Please follow the road for 500 feet.
Okay, so as you start driving, the navigation is going to zoom in more on the car. But I really like it. It gives you an overlay of where you're going right away. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. You can, if you order the vehicle new, you can get video augmented navigation. In that case, a picture coming off the front camera will appear with like floating arrows in the middle of the screen to tell you which direction to turn. It's pretty cool. But this is a very, very nice navigation system. I like it that Mercedes leaves a simple cancel button right at the top to cancel the route. You can also use voice command to do it. Now, there is a voice command button on the right side of the steering wheel. It's a picture of a face with, looks like someone's talking. Very, very intuitive system. And it learns as you go. It's going to learn more about where do you frequently stop, and start making some suggestions here and there as in the navigation. Okay, you can also click on this. Okay, this is also where you can go, but it also gives you a quick thing to look at charging stations and parking spaces and alternative routes. You can look at route, you can look at your range, you can adjust some functions right here. Like for instance, right now, climate control restrictions are giving you an extra 3 miles. Seat comfort restrictions are giving you, well, nothing. Interior restrict functions are giving you 1 mile, and so on. You can click on these, and now functions are limited. Okay, so you should have gained like 3 miles. Okay. So your possible maximum range was adding 6 miles to your car. So when I click on that, it goes down to, well, it goes down to 2. So it took off a little more than 3, but you get the idea. You can save some battery power by doing this. Yeah, you can look at charging. You can open the socket flap here where you plug the charger in, and so forth. You can look at consumption for 7.5 minute periods, all the way to 3-hour periods. Okay, so that's where that button is. Up here, you've got a profile button. That's a user profile. You can set that up. However, you've got a fingerprint sensor right here that you can just put your finger on. And once you've activated Mercedes Me, it'll recognize you. It'll do things like it'll position your seat, your steering wheel, your mirrors, your media favorites, even the way you have the EQ set. Okay, so it's really, really cool. You step in, start the car, put your finger on there, everything's set. Okay, so the start button brings up a set of shortcuts. Consumption, traffic route, oversee browser, turn the display off, the built-in manual, and then you can add some if you want to put something in there. And you pick them from here. It's like, say you want FM. Okay, I'm going to pick this one. Now I've got that radio favorite saved right in there. And I can swipe over now and I can add another screen. So these are like things you commonly use, easily accessible through the star. You've also got a star right on your steering wheel, and you can control this from the steering wheel. You've got a OK button with the trackpad. You got a home button and a back button, so you can control all this stuff right from the steering wheel. I'm just showing you with my hands so you can see where I'm going. Okay, let's dive into a couple of these apps here. So if I go to home, the first thing I'm going to go to is radio. Now it has FM and it has Sirius XM. So the questions are, how do I save a preset? How do I tune? And how do I adjust sound? All right, how do you tune? Well, first of all, you can do this. You can also just swipe. Okay? You can go here and you can search. Is FM? You want Sirius XM channels instead? You can search by categories, by featured favorites, tune mix lists. And under FM, you don't have all those things, but you got all these. Now, how do you make something a favorite? Well, you notice these stars that are going by. You see them pretty much everywhere. Even if I go out of the screen, you're going to see a star there. Just click on the star, and that makes it your favorite. So I'm gonna do a couple of these. Do a couple from Sirius XM. Okay, let's do this one and start that one. Now if I look at favorites, here I go. I've got these ones that are in there. Let's talk about the last thing, and that is how do you adjust sound? Well, anywhere in favorites, Sirius XM or FM, you have this gear wheel or this icon. Click either one. All right, and it's going to take you to sound profiles, equalizer, balance and fader, sound focus, loudness, normalization, okay, and that's it. So, sound profiles, you can set up a personal sound profile, okay, and you have to go through a process, so I'm not going to do that, but that is there. Hit the back button. The equalizer, okay, this works by clicking on the buttons. Okay, the arrows, you can do balance and fader, you can slide things around. You can also hit reset to bring everything back to 0. Where do you want the sound to focus? All seats, or the front, or the back. And if you don't want it, just click that again and it goes back to all seats. This does have a Burmester sound system, very, very nice. All right, loudness normalization. So if you're driving and you're going fast, the music's gonna get a little louder automatically. And if you're going slower, it's going to get softer. It tries to balance the overall volume in your ear no matter what the car is doing. All right, so that's how you get to sound. All right, so let's hit the home button. Hit the home button again. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to phone. I'm going to go to connect device. So on my phone, I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to hit, it has a pairing request. I'm going to hit pair for Bluetooth. If your Bluetooth isn't turned on, you're going to want to turn it on first. So I'm going to click right there. Okay, it asks me another Bluetooth pairing request. It gives me some numbers. It says the passkey is that. Oh, yes. I want to pair my phone. Now, right here, it asks me, do I want the MBUX to have access to my contacts? I'm going to say deny, but if it's your car, you want to hit allow. That way you can say that, call Bob and it will do it. I have to hit accept and start or I won't be able to use Android Auto. If I decline and end, then it will still connect via Bluetooth, and you can use the Bluetooth connection. But Android Auto is so much better than Bluetooth. All right, I'm going to hit continue. And here we are. Your phone will again ask you if you want to allow MBUX to have access to your messages, and of course I hit deny. You would want to click allow. But here it is. We got a split screen. Android Auto finally came up with a split screen just a little bit ago. You have got a little dice at the corner. You got a microphone for your Google Assistant, but if you set your phone to wake up to Hey Google, then you don't even have to press that button. You can also use a long press on the voice command button and then say Hey Google, and that will activate that microphone. These are your most recently used apps right here. So if I click on the dice, you're going to get a whole list of apps, okay? And notice I have Waze. And I don't have great reception here, so I'm guessing we're just going to get this blue screen. But, yep. Okay, even if I went to Google Maps, it's going to be the same thing. It's now good. Yep, here's Google Maps. Okay, so, but that's how you access all your apps. And if you've never used Android Auto or Apple CarPlay before, it takes every app on your phone that can work with the car and puts it up in the screen, which allows you to get rid of that phone, put it on the charger. There's a wireless charger in the center console, and don't pick up your phone. A little safer driving. So, you like navigation from your phone? No problem. You can use that Google Maps or the Waze or any navigation app you download. You need to look for chargers. Well, the built-in navigation's got that, but you can download, Mercedes Me app, and you can use that too, or use Plug and Share or whatever app you like. Okay, but it's just way better than having your phone up and running. The Mercedes EQ, we talked about it a little bit already, but you've got consumption charts. You've got a range you can look at. I showed you how to adjust that for maximum range. Shows you where your charge level is. This is where you set your charge level. Right now it's set to 100. You can adjust that down to 50. Okay? And then let's go back to the back button here. Okay, that was the EQ button here. If you want to look at some other apps that aren't in the other main window that we were looking at, you can see the Mercedes Me app, your web browser, your license info, and that's license info for the MBUX system. Okay? And beginner driver mode, you can use that. You can have valet service mode, in which you enter a 4-digit PIN and it locks a lot of the features of the car so that the valet can't use that. And then you just type in that 4 numbers when you get the car back, and it unlocks everything. You have a gallery for pictures. Now, this has a 360 surround camera system, and in the event that the car's hit, it's going to take pictures. This is where you're going to find those pictures. Okay? Right under collision photos. Car will take them and put them in there. And I believe if you have the Mercedes Me app, it'll actually put them into that too, right on your phone. Okay. So let's go back here. All right. So we're going to come back to settings for a minute. We're going to go to comfort here. So this does not have massaging seats. What it has is called Seat Kinetics. And you just hit the play button to get them started. But they're designed to just move your seat ever so slightly to help you stay alert and awake while driving. That's what they're for. And you, both driver and passenger, have them. Okay. You have heat seating settings, and if I go here, I can adjust the balance for driver and passenger seat. Watch what happens. Now there's basically no heat at the bottom, all the heat's in the back. If I drag it here, there's no heat in the back, and there's heat on the bottom, and everywhere in between, and you can adjust that for both driver and passenger. Automatic seat positioning here. I'm going to say I am 5'11", and this will adjust your seat and your steering wheel if you hit start positioning. All right. Anytime there, you can hit the stop there to cancel it. And you can do it in centimeters instead of inches if you want. Okay. And then adjust the steering wheel and the seat so you can, hopefully you can see everything pretty well. All right. So that's a neat feature. And then, of course, you can reset things for the driver or the passenger separately. Ambient lighting. Boy, this has lots of ambient lighting. You can have it multicolor, In which case, depending on what level the ambient lighting is on, it's in the dash, it's in the doors, it's down below by your feet, it's all over. You can have the multiple colors right there. You can affect the brightness, and you can change each zone. You got the direct, indirect, or you can link them together and move all three. But turn off the link, and now you can adjust them individually. You can have effects like when you're going to exit the car, climate, like when you turn something to hotter, then the ambient lighting around the air vents changes color from like blue to red. Okay, so you can, I mean, it's just really cool. Greeting when you come out to get in the car. When you're charging, you can have multicolor animation on where the lights are actually changing. Lots of fun things you can do in there. This is a fun one. If I go to off-road, because this is the SUV version of the EQ E350, you get this special page. You also get it in your driver's information screen, but you can't manipulate the information like you do here. So I got tire pressure, position, tire temperature, and then back. So it's got your incline, and then it's got your pitch. Okay, so it'll show you if your vehicle's going up, down, and how much is tilted to the left or the right. Over here, you've got a couple of screens. You've got this percentage that your wheels are turning. So not only does it give you a number, but actually shows your wheels. Okay, you got tire temperature over here, which we had over there, and you got position. So you can basically have two different things. Like here, I got tire pressure and tire temperature. Down here, it's giving you your exact coordinates. You're 359 degrees north, and you're at 991 feet of elevation. Down here, you have a couple of cool features. Right now, parking sensors are, I believe that's turned off when it's orange. But it could be white. So if you want the parking sensors off, you can just do that right there. You can turn traction control right off right there. You can have hill descent control turned on there. And then this one is really cool. So it's using your cameras, and it's reading the information that's underneath your tires. So you can actually see where your tires are going. And believe it or not, currently it's just got a black square underneath the car, but when you're driving, it uses the cameras at the front and back, and it does an amazing job of showing you what's actually underneath your car. So you can actually see what your tires are going over. Really, really, really cool. So that is right there. All right, let's go back. Let's go back again. All right, under info here, if I click this, basically I get a graphic for energy flow, and then I get another graphic here for acceleration, braking, and then pitch and roll again. All right, just a different way to see it, different place to see it. The cool thing is this graphic changes depending on what mode you're in. So here I am in off-road. Okay, this is a really cool picture. Let's go back to home here. Go back to home again. That was under info. Okay, smartphone we've already covered. So I'm going to go back here to settings. I'm going to click on this. You've got 5 tabs across the top, and then a categories down on the left. So under assistance for driving, downhill speed regulation, that can be turned on or off right there. Collision avoidance. Okay, you can have active braking assist, active lane keeping assist, blind spot assist, and you can simply turn them on or off if they have a gear wheel next to them. You click on it and you can change some aspect for it, and usually it's how soon do you want to be warned or how do you want to be warned. So in this case, it's when, early, medium, or late. So you pick the one you want. I'd suggest medium or early as opposed to late. It's never good to know something at the last moment. The other ones are just a simple on or off. Okay, camera. You can say open camera cover and it will open it for cleaning. Now you notice it says GPS-based activation. If I go down to camera and I have auto turned on and then I click this button, this position has been saved. So every time I get to this position, the front camera is going to come on. It automatically triggers the cameras by GPS. So which is that? That's just way cool. Way cool. All right, so that's what the camera GPS activation is. And if I click on here, I can deactivate all positions or edit the one that I have. All right, let's go back to home. Let's go back into settings. That's how they work. Okay, so this will take, some time in your driveway, making all these settings, but then it's going to be one time and you're done. All right, under vehicle, sound experience. If I turn this on, there is a silent orchestral hum that goes on. I can switch it to silver waves, but it sounds like, if you're musical, it sounds like a suspended chord that just never ends. So to me, slightly irritating. To you, you might like it. And you can have that outside experience as well. So that's where I turn that off. Creep function is not probably what you think it is. Creep function is when you pull up to a stop sign, if you come to a stop, if you haven't firmly pressed the brake pedal to set the brake hold, when you let off the brake, the car is going to roll forward or backwards if it's in reverse, like a gas powered car does, and it will creep forward or creep backwards. Okay, you can turn that feature off there, and then that's where you activate car wash mode. Under comfort here, you can set easy entry and exit, and you can do it both for the seat and the steering wheel. I would do it basically when you get to where you're going, you shut the car off. It pushes the steering wheel in and up as far as it can, pushes your seat down and back as far as it can, so that you can easily get out the door. When you get back in and press the start button, it reverses the whole process for the steering wheel and the seat. Okay. This one here, belt adjustment, I'll just point out, you're going to want to leave that on. What that does is it pre-tensions the belts. So if you have an accident, it senses it. It's going to pre-tighten those belts to help keep you safe. Open and close different things. Okay, for instance, automatic mirror folding. Do you want that on or off? Not sure why they call it open and close, but that's the name for it. Automatic door locks, on or off, etc. Dynamic select. Okay, this is where you set that individual mode in the driving modes. So you can change drive to eco, comfort, or sport. You can do steering to comfort and sport, electronic stability program, comfort or sport, and those are the three that you can change. You can also say, I want you to request at the start if I want to have an individual mode, or turn that off. Now under lights, you've got, under headlamp, you got daytime running lamps. I'd suggest leaving those on. Check with your insurance company. A lot of people give discounts for that. So I'd leave those on. Interior and exterior lighting. I will point out that this bottom one here, when you shut off the car and the lights are on, right? It'll wait 15 to 60 seconds before it shuts them off, giving you time to get your door to open it and do some different things, right? Or you can turn that off all the way. Under system, this is where you can make some basic changes, like you can turn the Hey Mercedes whole thing off if you want. Okay. Under displays, you can switch the display on or off. You can change the display brightness if you want. Home screen, you can say, do I want it always to be this or always to be the more traditional MBUX? Graphical goodies. Oh, if you like fun little things, leave it on. What Mercedes-Benz engineers did, and I'm guessing this was after a long, stressful week and a lot of coffee, but they left in little goofy things like at Christmas time, you're going to see Santa, you'll see the reindeer, little things like that pop up on your screens from time to time in different places, and it just it just puts a smile on your face. So if you like a little fun, leave that on. Okay, under units, then you can change from kilometers to miles, and you can have an additional speedometer, which shows up in your driver's screen just underneath the lane keeping assist symbol. You can change the language here. Got lots of different choices. You can change the keyboards and handwriting. You can control acoustic feedback. Acoustic feedback is normal. If you want that off, you can turn that. If you want it loud, you can hear that little click. So normal is a little softer. Okay. Under audio here, you can control audio for different things. And I'll point out, they all work the same way. But phone. So for phone, I can say I want the call volume to be this, and I want the ring. So you can set them where you want. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Of course, you have time and date. This is where you change that. But honestly, you can just go to the clock and click, and it's going to bring you to that page. You can go to the clock and click. And go up here, because it's on the 4G. Go up to clock. Click here. And then, for instance, right now, we are set to military time. So I want just AM and PM. And there we go. Click out of there. And now we're at this time. Okay. Now, under info, there's just some basic things. There's the operator's digital manual. It's basic system information if you need your vehicle identification number, that kind of stuff. And then some legal gobbledygook. All right, which we won't get into. Now, at the very bottom of your screen, you have some physical buttons. And we've already used this one. This is where we change into the different drive modes. Okay. This is where you access your front camera. This is the EQ button that brings up the screen that we saw already. The car button brings up several like shortcuts, easy things, on-off buttons. So there's only two that are not on or off. These are all, I want car wash mode, okay? I'm not going to activate that. I don't want that, but that's what you would do. Downhill speed, I want that activated. Parktronic sensors, I want those activated. In fact, I'm going to turn those on. All these things are one-time settings. ESP, it goes in and it gives you, again, the explanation before it allows you to turn it on or off. And then if you want all settings, it goes back to this screen. Let's take a look at the backup camera. So I'm just going to press the camera button. And right now we're getting the overhead view. You have a front view with the overhead view, 360 view. You have got the back view with the overhead view. You've got a view from the left side of your car, a view from the right side of your car. And then again, if we turn that on, okay, that should help us mark locations. So it'll work by GPS. Okay, now if I put it in reverse, of course, you're going to get the backup camera. You do have dynamic swivel guidelines. The thin line is telling you where your front tires are going to go, and the big lines are telling you where your back tires are going to go. The red line, when you're backing up, don't go any closer than that. When you get to that red line, absolutely stop. You are literally like an inch off your bumper. So don't get any closer. That's why that's there in big red. Okay, but what a cool system. I love the fact that they use the whole width of the screen. It's a good resolution. It's a good quality, the picture. All right. Wow. That's a lot of stuff on there. So that's it for the driver's information screen and the infotainment screen on the 2023 Mercedes-Benz EQ 350. This is the SUV. Of course, it's 4MATIC. We hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.